No! Someday I'm actually going to get this right. I keep on forgetting. So what happens is I keep on forgetting the mic doesn't unmute. It's not tied to the scene in XSplit. So I had it muted for the spinning ring, and I didn't unmute it when I switched here. Gosh darn it. I know, right? It's almost a tradition now. I just assume everyone reads lips. Hello and welcome to Court of the Rings here on twitch.tv/LotroStream, youtube.com/Lord of the Rings/live, and facebook.com/Lotro. I am Lotro's community manager, Cordovan, and I'm actually in the office. I'm not stuck at home. It's not snowing outside. It's not winter break. My cat is at home, so no seeing the cat today, and we are polka free this time around. I'm going to be leveling up in the Misty Mountains, doing some questing, hopefully trying to level up a little bit more quickly in 2018 than I did in 2017. That's my New Year's resolution for Lotro, is to try to get closer to the end game so I can play more current content on the stream here. I know you folks have expressed concern that I'm sort of stuck in older parts of the game rather than running what all the hip young kids are running nowadays. So I'll probably be doing that. I had a conversation actually with Sev about this a little bit a couple of days ago, where he was like, well, maybe you should just do an Aria of the Valar. And I could do that. That would definitely get me into Mordor and things like that, but I kind of feel like I need the experience of leveling up. I need to learn these things. And so that's why I want to actually, continue to play this lower level stuff and do it that way. So I know it's not the most popular decision in the world, but it's one I've kind of felt is important for me to do. That said, I am hoping to actually get some, particularly before I get my son for the summer here, I'm hoping to spend some free time just leveling up in Lotro here as quick as I can. So you agree maybe I should just, yeah, exactly, I feel I should level myself, because okay, so like when we did Mordor testing, I used Aria of the Valar. I was level 105 and all that sort of thing, testing things out. But what I found when I did that in our internal environments is there was just a lot I didn't know, because I just jetted straight to the end there. Where do I go? Who is that? What is that? What am I supposed to be doing now? Maybe don't quite have the gear I want, things like that. So that's sort of why I've opted to do it this way. So that's true. I could also do a level 95 Valar. But my intention is to level up once, the old-fashioned way, which is kind of why I've been stuck in the doldrums here, by some of your opinion, on Court of the Rings. And then for subsequent characters that I make up, I'm going to just jet straight to the end. Yeah. Okay, so welcome everyone. I really do appreciate you being here. Yes, FH Stronky, my beard is back. What can I say? It's in the 40s here. Yeah, it's like almost 50 degrees outside today. It's quite nice. So may as well use cue cards at the start. Yeah, I could take a page from what In Excess Kick in that Bob Dylan video. I could just sort of have cards. Welcome to Court of the Rings. Might take a little while. I tend to use a lot of words. Might also be a waste of paper. But also, hello to YouTube, everybody. Arurin, Lapchus Kitty, Brimstone, Melissa, Cape Hacks, and everyone else. Narendir, I have a question about the War Steed. It is about word, because I am gliding in the curves, and it seems like animation isn't right. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like maybe we just need some animation polish on the War Steed. Let me quick check Facebook before I call it and move on to actually doing stuff. Yeah, War Steed's drift. Apparently our animation team saw Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift and was like, yeah, we really need that. I love drifting myself. I think it's one of the neatest things cars do. I also find Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift to be one of the best bad movies of all time. So one of the last things I've done here since you maybe last saw me is I outfitted myself with some cool things from the Winter Festival, which will be getting an encore. I understand it'll maybe be somewhere around late-ish February. I got myself the mug. I actually have 2 mugs, so I can double fist my mugs, but I'm currently wearing a shield, and the cosmetic doesn't work for it. So when I'm shieldless during an event and something like that, I can actually double fist mugs. I also got a nice scarf and the elk mount and some nice armor and things like that too. So looking pretty good and wintry here on Dwinstrel. Rep acceleration tome? That sounds useful. That sounds useful too. Alright, now when you drift into a lava flow. Nice. Do I have any news on Update 22? I've seen a post in the forums that the beta of Update 22 may come the end of January. Not a... yes, that's the general thinking. I wouldn't say it's set in stone at this point. I mean, one of a million things could happen that would adjust that. But yes, that is the general thinking, is it'll be somewhere around late January that we'll try to get our first bull roarer push out for Update 22. RIP Pretzel. I still do have a Pretzel. I could actually switch into that back and forth, because I do really like the fact that you can wield a Pretzel in Lotro. But I felt like the festive beer mug was also kind of nice. Although, in my case, it'll be hot chocolate rather than beer, because I'm not a drinker anymore. But might as well do some leveling up here while I'm at it, rather than just sort of get my way out. It's all about just trying to get the XP. Will we see any creep fixes for Update 22? I don't know what our plans are, or what Vastin's plans are in particular for Update 22. I'll need to check with him on that. I don't know. Yeah. I was playing with someone else. I was in resonance stance. Better switch over to dissonance here. Is the community doing older content as well? Someone basically saying I can't really afford Mordor right now, so I'm just wondering if I can do that. Yeah, absolutely. We have players across all levels. Clearly, we have a large section of players who are currently at or near endgame-ish, but that's not, you know, exclusive by any means. We have lots of people of all sorts of levels. What news about the 64-bit client? Just that it's being worked on. The engineer is continuing to work on it in the coming weeks and probably months. Sev told me some kind of techie thing that the person was doing yesterday, but I don't really want to try to mangle that. I do really love Lotro's cosmetic weapon system. Frankly, it's better, way better than DDO's. Sorry, DDO players, but you know it's true. So the big news, so to speak, other than something I'm going to get to in just a second here, is Winterstock. This live stream, twitch.tv/LotroStream, is going to be your home for Winterstock 5, which kicks off tomorrow early afternoon on Landreval here. Entrance here at the kind of icy lake near Thorin's Gate is where it's going to be held. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We are going to blow it out on Lotra Stream. We have got, with the help of some Lotra streamers, particularly Druid's Fire, Stine, Eldaleth, and myself, we're going to be streaming the entirety, or pretty darn close to it, of Winterstock 5. So, if you are playing Lotra and you want to hear some cool player-created music throughout the weekend while you're leveling up and doing your thing, maybe you want to have a second monitor set aside to the Twitch channel, we have got graphics, we've got some giveaways we're going to do. We're going to be giving out some well-met titles, some Lotra points codes, and we're just going to have a lot of fun listening to some really great music. I want to thank, as always, the Lonely Mountain Band for just doing a huge amount of work to make this thing happen. And it's super duper cool, and I'm really looking forward to it, frankly. I think we are going to have a killer weekend here on Lotra Stream. So I'm really hoping you get a chance at least to check out a few minutes of it. I know a lot of the bands, and there are dozens of them, have worked really hard and put in a lot of hours getting the show ready for you. And frankly, I think it's going to rock. Sometimes literally, sometimes figuratively, but it is going to rock. So, Winterstock 5 on Lotra Stream all weekend long. Starts at Friday, a couple minutes before 1 o'clock Eastern with Druid's Fire. I'll be taking over the duties on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday evenings, including some kind of mid-afternoons. I can't do the whole thing because my legs would give out. but yeah. We're doing the whole shebang. It's going to be cool. I am going to be on my admin, so I'm going to be able to do some camera work. I'll also be kind of having it go in the background while I do a few other things as well, so, you know, what have you. But it's going to be a really good time. And, it would also be very cool if you want to represent your kinship or yourself, want to dress up for the occasion and head on over to Landreval, go check things out. It would be a good opportunity to show your support in person, in game. But I know a lot of folks are, either not on Landreval or not interested in being there a long period of time, or frankly they just want it going on in the background while they level up and stuff too. So we're going to have that on Lotra Stream. I believe the long-term goal is we're going to actually separate out the bands and get that on Lotra Stream, maybe put it into a playlist on YouTube, things like that. That's not going to happen right away though, that's going to take some time. But that is the intention. I can actually get the full list of participating bands here in a second. Okay, let me see. I wish DDO had visible cloaks like Lotra. I know. Oh, that's been a long-standing request in that community, including myself. But frankly, DDO just lacks the tech for it. Although, we'll see. But I'm not breaking any DDO news here. Alright, rocking the whole time. Will I be performing myself? No. I don't think so. Maybe some future year, but I'm just going to be there as a camera. How big is the Standing Stone team? We can't get into numbers. That is a corporate secret. But we're in the, yeah, I'm sorry, I just can't say it. I was trying to think if I could ballpark it, but I could even get me in trouble, so. Am I aware on a buff of the two-handed weapons concerning champions? With the new offhand weapons, a build with two one-handed weapons are much ahead damage-wise and stats compared to a two-handed weapon. That's sad because I love a Dwarven champion two-handers. Please make them on par with one-handers. That sounds like good feedback that I can look into with the itemization team. Because that does sound... I mean, there are always going to be cases where you've got edge cases and things, but, both should be a viable option. Okay. I remember playing at Winterstock one year, the server in that area froze for everyone for a few minutes. It's true that there are some consequences for having that many people in one public area. Hopefully it'll be okay. Hopefully it'll be okay. But you're not entirely wrong. It can be a bit of a challenge. Alright, I'm going to just kind of get on my elk mount and move to the next section here. The best thing I could do is, honestly, the community can do a lot to mitigate performance issues for the bands and the public area. Just don't spam emotes, you know? I know people like to do that. Don't spam your abilities. The more kind of the audience can be respectful of the space, the better the performance is, frankly, for everybody involved. So, why does Standing Stone Games hate very much the burglar class? Is there any chance to get buffs for burglars in the future? I can tell you we do not hate the burglar class. Are we going to buff them in the future? Perhaps. But it's rarely the case that we hate a class. Well, if we hated a class, it wouldn't be in the game. I have also heard that burglars can be among the strongest classes in Lotra, which the chat room seems to be echoing as well. That said, it's often the case that you've got certain things over time that become more powerful as other areas become less powerful, things like that. So it may well be that we have some work to do. I think pretty much if you ask the question, could we improve X? The answer is probably yes. Sort of a never-ending battle to, I mean, that's game development for you, right? Just say the word, we can make a spot for you on the band. Actually, that was actually something kind of that came up just the other day. Because my game client is used for admin purposes, in fact, I'm not sure that I can use the main plugins that some of the bands use to make their music. And if I can't use those plugins, that's certainly going to make it a little more challenging to get this stuff done. But we'll see. I haven't really done the work to look into it yet. Will I update the event schedule soon? Yes. As a matter of fact, I will update the event schedule today, and that was the other piece of news I was going to get to here in just a little bit, which is go over the event schedule to the extent that I can do so. Some of this stuff is still being worked on. Frankly, the snow day kind of fell right at the time that QA had set us and marketing had set aside to put together our event schedule. So that's why it's frankly a little last minute at the moment. we currently have a skirmish boost going active, and like I say, I'll talk about that in just a second here, as soon as I find basically a safe place to talk about that sort of thing. When will the new update with Northern Mirkwood release? That's update 22. And when it'll be later this quarter is about as specific as I'd want to get at this point. Okay, let's see. Leave the poor mammoths alone. Last I checked, Loremaster and Cappy were the best mounted classes. Is that still true? I'll leave that for someone else to mention. Burglars are spectacularly OP. The buffing they received along with hunters made them very, very, very spanktastic. Nice. Alright, let me hide in the woods here and call up a couple of things so I don't get murdified. First off, I had a question about the bands for Winterstock. So, I have got this. The full list of bands for Winterstock 5, like I said, it starts at 1 p.m. on Friday, 11 a.m. on Saturday, 11 a.m. on Sunday, and noon on Monday, and it goes until midnight Friday, 1 a.m. Saturday, 11 p.m. Sunday, and 10 p.m. on Monday. And you can see the full list of bands here. We've got the Rolling Kegs, Lanterns of Nimroliant, Aylford Band, Mondbarden. I'm not going to go through the whole list here, but you can see we've got really a ton of people, including Department of Harmony and Song. I believe Druid's Fire is a member of that one there. And a lot of bands that you've seen advertised in the Beacon and things like that. So very cool. Also, I think I saw, was it Chris Pearson that said Traveling Bilberries is a really, really, really good band name. Gosh, there's some good band names here. And you can find that schedule over on lotroartists.com. lotroartists.com. All right, the other thing I wanted to do before I continued questing is let me go over my event schedule to the extent that I can talk about it. Where is that now? Okay, so right now we have a 25% skirmish mark boost. That kicked off at 10 o'clock this morning. That runs and through the 15th, being turned off 3 a.m. on the 16th. Next weekend will be a 25% XP boost. Let's see, what else do I got? We have a Buried Treasure event coming February 15th. The Yule Festival Encore is currently scheduled for February 22nd, kicking off at 10 a.m. Eastern, running through March 4th at 3 a.m. Eastern. And that's really about all that is set in stone right now. We do have basically plans for, just in place just about every weekend through the rest of the year. I'm going to be updating the Lotro event schedule, which you can find on the Lotro forums, kind of mid-afternoon after the Chronicle and Beacon get out today. Flock of Smeagol's? Yeah, that is a really good one. Yeah. Concerning a mug in the offhand, try do a drink emote and abort the animation halfway. Okay. So I actually have a shield in my offhand, so that's why I can't put the mug in my offhand right now. Alright, let me head over to YouTube. Are we still working on the 64-bit launcher? Yes, absolutely. Going to add finesse on the crafted raid jewelry. I have not heard of plans to do that, sorry. We are going to, the streamers, we actually talked about that in our Slack chat today, about using the filtering to help improve the sound quality of this year's Winterstock 5. So we'll be doing some of that as well. I can't guarantee we're going to catch every one of the kind of disruptive emote sounds, but we're going to get most of them. It should be pretty cool. Any plans for PvMP? We are still planning to do some basic PvMP work this year. No major expansion plans, though, or anything. Champions will probably get worked on as well. I mean, we know we need to do class work, and we're planning to dedicate some time to do that this year, in addition to other things. Any plans of adding new language support? Sorry, no. French, German, English will most likely be our language support for the foreseeable future. The producer's letter mentioned changes to the imbued legendary item system. Can I give us any info as to what those changes might entail? No! I can't break the news on that one, sorry. Could Standing Stone get the language data from when Lotro was in Chinese and Korean? No. Contractually, there are some... We no longer have access to that stuff. People came on PvP armors. PvP armors is T1 plans to make T2 armors. No. Okay. Sounds good. Let me kill some more things and collect dwarf gold. You know, Dwinstrel is all about that dwarf gold, so. Let me Baruch Hazard my way to more dwarf gold. I cannot speak. So, yeah, we are basically working on the event schedule. The development team is hard at work on Update 22 right now on the marketing side. We're finishing up our plans for the year, both sales-wise and bonus-wise. What else can I talk about? On the tech side, we're doing some website work in the works. Probably nothing super visible on that. At least not at this point. But we're doing some behind-the-scenes work to hopefully take care of things and make it a little bit better. But yeah. I guess one other piece I could mention, just because it's come up on the forums quite a bit, in the community elsewhere, we are well aware of the gold spam issues going on in-game right now, and we're working hard to try to mitigate it. One of the big challenges there is we have gates in place to help curb spam, although the truly dedicated can always find a way. But one of the challenges we're running into, and it's what people are seeing, frankly, in World Chat, is a lot of the spammers are using compromised accounts. You would think that people would not get... Oh God, how do I say this and not be a jerk? I guess I'm just going to be a jerk. You would think people would not get suckered in to the buy Lotro gold scammers. But it happens enough that they have a steady supply of compromised accounts from which to use to spam all the rest of y'all. So that's what's a lot of times going on. Because I saw something on the forums, I was like, well, why can't we just, you know, make it level 10 instead of, which is what it is right now. Make it level 20, say, or 15, and what have you. And the problem is they're using accounts that were actual player accounts at one point. Until they said, yes, I'd like to buy Lotro Gold. Here's my username and password. Oops, my account's been taken. How did that happen? And that's how they're doing this stuff. So what we're doing is working. The CS team has been working very hard to try to catch these spammers as soon as they can. We've been doing IP bans, we've been doing ISP bans, we've been doing all sorts of things. But clearly we have more work to do. And we've been meeting recently and will continue to be meeting about ways and things that we can do to deal with it further. But the best thing that we could do is just tell your kinmates in that there is nobody selling Lotro Gold. There's a lot of people claiming to sell Lotro Gold. But you should know that you're not really getting gold if you would say, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. What you're doing is you're getting your account compromised. And it's being given to spammers and other things like that. So, I'm sorry, but that's true. Alright. Why do we not simply filter out the gold spam URLs? We actually will be probably doing that in the near future. It's not going to make a difference, though. I mean, I'm sorry, but the reality is they'll just slightly change their URL. It won't hurt, but it's not really going to help much. Any chance some of the clunkiness of combat that was great when the game came out now seems outdated will be updated to feel more fluid? You know, perhaps. That's something that I would imagine we'd enjoy doing. I don't know the circumstances of your particular claim, Mylisaurus. I will say that it is pretty unlikely that people got banned for gold spamming if they weren't gold spamming, although mistakes could be made. You know, maybe someone clicked on the wrong button or something like that. So, you know, send in an appeal if that applies to you. But for the most part, people aren't being banned for spamming unless they're spamming. I'm not going to say it has never happened, that say a GM may have clicked on the wrong name or something like that. But it certainly doesn't happen too often. Nice little parade of XP mobs. You're cute, you snow bear. I don't want to hurt you. But if you're going to make me... Okay, there we go.
Well met, friend.
Well met.
Stay a moment, friend. Greetings. Might you lend me an ear?
I might. Alright. Is an appeal to sending in another ticket? There's a section in the in-game help menu of a ban appeal. And that would be the way to do that. if you're banned in-game, you can go through help.standingstonegames.com. There's a section there as well for in-game ban appeals, and you can do that. Alright, let me double... I'm just reading chat here. Need skins for the rugs? Yep. Is it helpful when we report? I know that can make for a lot of tickets. It's true, Fran, over on Facebook that like in one day they've received thousands of spam report tickets. It doesn't hurt. It can cause a little bit of a delay to customer service because they have to close a large number of gold spam tickets after they take an action against a gold spammer, but it certainly doesn't hurt. We do have GMs, you know, on the live game worlds catching these things organically as well, but it never hurts to really send in a ticket. Any ETA on updated skirmish loot? No. I have not heard of plans to do that. There's a lot of questions, not too surprisingly, about can I give a list of what class is going to be dealt with when, and I just don't really feel comfortable doing that. I don't want to commit the dev team without really speaking to them ahead of time and saying, yes, this is what I'm going to be doing, this is what I'm going to be doing. But hopefully we might be able to get that kind of information for you in the relatively near future. Because I don't want to commit the... Why don't I feel comfortable doing that? Because I don't want to commit the dev team to changes that they haven't agreed to. I wouldn't even say so much it's all in early stages as it tends to be a relatively fluid process based on a whole bunch of factors that can require things to sometimes change based on whatever's going on at the time. So to say, okay, first in January will be the warden, and then we will do the captain in March, you know, or something like that. It's just not the way it works. So... Any plans for an axe weapon for dwarven bards? Not that I've heard of, but I am definitely in agreement with you that that would be cool. Are we going to raise the level cap in Update 22? No. That much I can absolutely say is the truth. We have... I'm not sure when we're going to next update the level cap, but it most certainly will not be Update 22. Hey, Adeline from Western Kentucky. Very nice to have you here today. Really appreciate it. I don't even know. You're right. I don't even know that we really even have a lot of level cap increase plans, to be fair. It's not to say, I'm sure someday it'll happen, but I couldn't tell you when. One of the things is I know the community very much wants us to focus more heavily on class balance work in 2018 than we did in 2017. I can't promise that that's going to happen, but I do know that we are going to see some class balance work in the coming months. Any plans to make Lotro more alt-friendly? I have not heard of really any kind of targeted marketing or design plans to encourage alt-making in Lotro more than it already does. I'm not actually sure the community would want us to encourage people to make a whole lot more alts. It's certainly an option. I don't know. I'd be curious to kind of hear more about what you'd like to see out of that. Will there be a new event schedule for 2018 posted soon? Yes. It's not going to include all of 2018 yet because there's just a little bit too much conversation yet to happen regarding that, but I am going to be updating the event calendar today, and after we have some meetings in the coming weeks, I'll be updating it again with hopefully at least the full quarter, if not more. Guessing that's up here. What are some of the best Lotro fan sites? Well, that's a pretty subjective question. In my mind, some of the best Lotro fan sites would be LotroArtist.com, LotroPlayers.com, Daddy's Lotro Guides, Lena, I can't think of the URL, but Lena's site that you can find linked to on Twitter. I don't want to miss people. LightTheBeacons.com is a good one. Check out Fibro Jedi on Twitter as well. Lotro Family on Twitter is a good one. There's quite a few actually. Lotro Wiki is probably one of the biggies, of course.
Stay a moment.
When can we read the next producer's letter? We just did one. We did one in, geez, last month that outlines basically all of 2018. You have well over 50 alts? Wow, that is a lot. There are two primary sticking points as far as making alts in my opinion, deeds and legendary items. I would personally like some synergy bonuses on Slayer deeds to make those go faster. That makes sense. Can we get Neeker Breaker cosmetic pets? That would be rad. When will the avatar updates come for the dwarf and hobbits? That work is underway. We haven't committed to a release date for it. Similar to what we did with the elves and humans, the male man or whatever you want to call them. It'll be released when it's ready. It's an iterative process that takes some time. You know, it'll be this year. But will it be, say, first quarter, second quarter, something like that? Can't really commit at this point. But it is actually being worked on right now. Collect the stolen ingot. Okay. Where are you, stolen ingot? Okay. The Neeker was going to be a cosmetic in beta. Interesting. How many max level and geared characters do I have? None. Sorry. But it's true. You know. Ira the Lames. Oops. Ah. Let's see. Not sure if you saw my question, just trying to help him out. I know this is a stretch, but my friend apparently received a ban last night with the reason no reason specified. Have you seen any errors because of this, or is it legitimately something he would have done? Well, I can't speak as to the individual circumstances of that. I know that we have been working to curb gold spam ban and illegally bought key ban. Folks, people have been buying in large quantities, clearly improperly purchased keys, so I can't speak whether that was one of those. But what I would suggest is get in touch with in-game support. There is a ban appeal section through help.standingstonegames.com. Any plans to give PvMP a complete revamp? No.
What do you want?
I can't get into the improperly purchased key thing because it would give away some fraud methods that we don't want to make public until we correct the means of acquiring that thing. But in general, you know, if you see a thing in chat saying, I can give you 100 keys for $10 or something like that, don't do it. It's a shame gold spammers take away development resources that could be better used to add saltwater fishing, enhanced fishing tiers, deeds and titles, the new lure crafting, and fly fishing hobbies, etc. As a matter of fact, it really is not true that it takes away much in the way of development resources. It actually doesn't. It takes a lot of CS time, but in terms of development time, it's relatively minimal, because things like say text bans and things like that would largely be engineering. So it might have it might impact systems, but it probably would not actually impact world building and that kind of thing. Oh crap, I'm gonna die. Run! Oh, thank you. That's a little close. That's pretty great. Let's see. An Art of Lotra book. That's cool. Alright, I think I'm getting pretty close to wrapping up the show here. But I did want to... Looks like I've got some quest turn-ins to do on my off time here, so that hopefully we can do more questing. This seems like about as good a place as any to log out for safety. So thank you very much. for watching Court of the Rings. Don't forget, tomorrow, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have got the launch of Winterstock 5 that's taking place here on Landreval at the gates of Thorin's Hall, kind of the icy pond that takes place there. I'll be doing live streaming along with Druid's Fire, Stine, and Eldalith. And you can find that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, basically all afternoon and evening. So if you are in-game and want to hear some great music, you can pop on over to LotraStream, have a run in the background while you do questing and skirmishing and what have you. So thank you very much. I'll be back next Thursday. We do have a full schedule on LotraStream that you can find on our Twitch page. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow. See ya.